Boys and girls, welcome to Emergency Management Associates, coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. I'm going to wait for just a few more minutes until I can confirm we're on the air. I believe we're on the air right now. Well, we will be in just a matter of seconds here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. We want to welcome everybody who's joined us here on the program tonight. Demon Catman, my dear friend, how are you? Can I get somebody give me a 5x5, make sure we're on the air with our video and everything's just going to be fine? Richard Smith, welcome. Good to see everyone too. Yes, absolutely. Demon Catman says 5x5. That's awesome. That's perfect. We appreciate that so much. Sleeping Volcano's here. Our dear friend Heather is here. Folks, yes, we're having earthquakes. And we're having weather. Okay? A lot of weather. I'm just telling you, it's not going to be pretty today or even tonight. I want to just give you an idea of what's happening weather-wise, literally all over the United States. Okay? Folks, I've been watching this literally all day long. It's not going to be pretty. Yes, we're having tornadoes again over in the lower part of the southern part of the United States. Literally everywhere. And that system that's coming through the center part and southern part of the United States, it's also going to go northeast right into where we are today. It's going to go right into southern and North Carolina. It's not going to be pretty. Okay? It's not going to be pretty at all. Heather's been covering what has been going on literally all day. I'm just going to give you kind of an update about what's going on. I want to give you a complete update maybe a little bit later. We have had some tornado watches and we've had some tornado warnings. Over in Arkansas, for example, Hope, Arkansas, Prescott, Arkansas, and Emmett, Arkansas until 5 p.m. Central Daylight Time, which was just about an hour ago, there was a tornado warning. We also have another tornado warning over in Goldthwaite, Texas, Bossier, Texas, and Star, Texas, until 5:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time, which is another, I want to say, 15 or 20 minutes. Another tornado warning in Pidcoke, Texas, and Adamsville, Texas as well, until 6:15 Central Daylight Time. We've had another tornado warning, like I said, in Pittsburgh, Texas, going over to Rocky Mountain, Texas, and Newsom, Texas as well, until 6:15 Central Daylight Time. We expect to see tornado warnings in Arkansas and Louisiana, Mississippi, and then we believe that that system is going to go to the northeast into Southern Carolina and South Carolina, or North Carolina as well. We will try to keep you updated about what is going on. We appreciate everything that Hurricane Heather has been doing to keep us updated about what's going on. There are storm chasers also on scene, giving us the latest information. I want to thank all of our mods here. You guys do an absolutely bang-up job. Adventure Mike is here in the chat saying, will it be affecting west of Asheville? I live 30 miles west of there. I live about an hour and a half northeast of Asheville, off the Interstate 40. Adventure Mike lives over there, west of there. it will probably, let me check something real quick. I'll tell you exactly what's going on. Let me pull up my maps here. I have the maps for all the weather. I can pull it up literally from around the United States, but specifically around my area. Okay? I want to show you what's going on. Okay? This is wild. This is wild. Look what's going on in Nashville. Look at Tennessee and Kentucky, guys. Look at all the storms there. It's not looking pretty at all. It's not looking pretty at all. Look at this storm here. This is the furthest away from where I'm at right now. But look where it's going here. There's tornado watches over here. And over here, this is thunderstorms that will probably be reaching us later tonight. This is a thunderstorm. This is a thunderstorm as well. Okay? This is over here, right here is Nashville, Tennessee. Okay? Now, I'm going to reduce the size of the map here. Look what's happening. This storm is going to move straight over to where I am right now. Sometime probably within the next 3 to 4 hours, it'll be in North Carolina, right here. Okay? It'll be here. Anybody anywhere near here needs to basically get ready for action. You need to be prepared. If you get a tornado watch, you need to be prepared and keep your ears to the ground. You need to have your television set to a news talk station. If you're able to get news on your television station, keep your television tuned to that station in your area. That way you'll get the latest emergency updates for your area. Now, I talked about Arkansas. I want to show you what's going on here in Arkansas. Folks, look at this. Look at this here. This is what's going on there. Okay? It's happening all over this area here. That's why we've had so many tornado warnings in Arkansas today. Over in Texas, there is a system over in near Killeen, Texas. There is a tornado warning over here in Killeen, Texas as well. Right there. It looks like there's several tornado warnings in this area here. Texas, you also need to be aware of what's happening. Be very careful. Be very, very careful. Little Rock, Arkansas, look what you're feeling right there. Little Rock, Arkansas is also getting hit with this green is rain, light rain out here in the light yellow, but you guys are facing heavy duty thunderstorms and even tornadoes here in Arkansas. Everybody needs to know what's happening. Okay? If you have a tornado warning, go search for shelter right then and there. Go to your sweet spot, away from windows. If you don't have a tornado shelter in your home, make sure you go to the innermost part of your home, away from all the windows. You can bring all the pillows and all the blankets that you can and cover yourself up. If there's a tornado spotted near your home, get anything heavy enough to protect you and your children. Make sure you're protecting your head, making sure you're protecting your body. You can even pull a mattress down off your bed into your hallway to protect yourselves. Do whatever you can. Make sure you have a little bit of water there with you. Okay? That way you have what you need. Okay? Make sure you're protected at all costs. But again, That storm over in Nashville is going to move up to the northeast, and we're going to get hit with tornadoes, with heavy-duty thunderstorms, and the possibility of tornadoes tonight into tomorrow morning. Everybody needs to realize this, guys. I'm not fooling around here. If anything happens, we will give you more information as soon as it becomes available. That is the tornado report and thunderstorm report right now. Now, folks, we have a lot more information for you. Okay? I'm first going to show you earthquakes around the world. Okay, hold on. Let me bring up my map here. I want to show you a live map here. I want to show you what's going on. Over here in the Gulf of Alaska, let's go here first. Gulf of Alaska. This is a 3.4 earthquake over here in the Gulf of Alaska. This is approximately 256 kilometers southeast of Chignac, Alaska. Okay? This is the other red earthquake here. This is southeast. This earthquake is southeast of Mount Redoubt, right over here. Southeast of Mount Redoubt. Okay? We do have some other earthquakes just south of Mount Redoubt here at Pedro Bay, a minus 0.5. This is a minus 0.9. This is a 1.7 tremor. Okay? So we have earthquakes south and also north of Mount Redoubt right here. Let me bring this up here. This is a 1.0 near Tyanek, Alaska. This is north of Mount Redoubt. Okay? Now, we do not have anything major at all anywhere near Anchorage. This is Anchorage, Alaska right here. We have no major earthquakes, even small earthquakes anywhere near Anchorage. Over here in the Cook Strait here. I'm sorry, the Cook Inlet. This is the Cook Inlet here. This is a 1.5 tremor here in the Cook Inlet. This is a 1.4. This is a 1.3. I'm sorry. There we go. This is a 1.3. This is a 1.4. And this is a 1.5. Okay? These are in the Cook Inlet. These are southwest of Anchorage. No big deal. The earthquake just south of Anchorage down here is a 1.5. I don't expect anything to come of that. There's one other earthquake that just came in just a short time ago, right here. Okay? It's where my cursor is right here. This is a 1.4 tremor here, 22 kilometers north of Willow, Alaska. 20 kilometers north of Willow, Alaska. Now, I was just looking at my monitor here, and the monitor is frozen. Okay, now it's going again. That means we're still live here. I was worried that YouTube had shut us down. This is what's happening, guys. I'm just giving you an update about earthquakes here. Further south here, this is Pedro Bay here. I think we told you about this a second ago. That's 2.6 here. Old Ililama volcano right here. This is a 2.2. All of the volcanoes around the world are recharging. Old Ililama volcano has been steaming. I don't know whether it's been steaming today. We have not received a report about it. But Old Ililama volcano is active. It's very active. Okay? So that's there here. Let me back this out. We have no earthquakes up here in the Arctic Circle. No earthquakes up around the north shore of Alaska here where the oil and gas pumping operations are. I'm going to go over here to Washington State. This earthquake allegedly was an explosion near Eatonville, Washington. This is just west of Mount Rainier. Let me zoom in on this. I want to show you this. I think this is very important. Look how close this earthquake was to Mount Rainier. Just miles. A 2.0 alleged explosion. Folks, let me zoom into this. I want to show you this. There is absolutely no way, there is no way that this could have been an explosion at all. There is no quarries here. There is no reason for an explosion here. This is over in an open meadow, right next to a roadway here, okay? To the north of there is a forested area. To the southern part is a forested area. This is not an explosion. This is a 1/4 mile deep minor earthquake. A minor earthquake here in Washington State. And this is the only earthquake that they're talking about. They're not showing anything else going on here. But we know darn well there is. If I was to pull the seismogram, which I'm going to do on Thursday, I will show you earthquakes and tremors here at Mount Rainier. Earthquakes and tremors here at Mount St. Helens. At Mount Adams here. Down here at Mount Hood as well. Earthquakes all over this area, and USGS isn't showing one of them. Not one of them. Okay? Just for kicks and giggles. I want to go over here to the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network. I want to show you what's going on tremor-wise. Let's pull up the tremor map here. The tremor map. According to the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network, right here it says there are 82 epicenters, meaning 82 seismic events. Seismic events usually are between 0.1 microquake all the way up to 2.0. You see right here, there's a good deal of tremors up here over at Victoria Island here, okay? Look at this, just south of Ladysmith. Look where these earthquake tremors are. That's all. But it's not all. It's not all. I could pull seismic data all day from this area, and I could show you tremors all over this place that they're not reporting. Let's go down south, okay? I want to show you this. Look where these tremors are here. This is just west of Redding. Okay? Shasta National Forest. Trinity National Forest. This is where most of those tremor epicenters are. Okay? For example, I'm just going to pull this up now. This is a 0.8 microquake here. This is a 0.9 microquake. Down here, let's pull this one here. This one here is a 0.8. We have 1.0s, we have 0.8, 0.9s, 1.2 tremors, etc., all over this area. Again, if I pulled seismograms from this area from Shasta National Park over at Mount Shasta volcano, we would see a lot more than this. Again, this is only what the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network believes we need to see. They're not showing everything. Patricia says she's in Spokane, Washington. Patricia, have you felt any kind of tremors or earthquakes there in Spokane? It's been a long time since I was in Spokane, Washington. Hurricane Heather says that's by her and Kim. Yes, it is. Stan Grenfell says he had some land west of Redding. That's where all these earthquakes are. There's nothing major here. These are all tremors, microquakes, and minor earthquakes. Every one of them. Okay? But they're not going to tell us any truth. They're just not going to. Now, let's go back here to the USGS map. I'm only going to show you earthquakes that have anything to do with what we're talking about. Over here, folks, this one is in Hayden, Kentucky. This is a 2.7 earthquake. Hayden, Kentucky. This is eastern Kentucky. Folks, this is no more than about 120 miles west of where I live in North Carolina. Hayden, Kentucky at 2.7. This, folks, is over here in the Eastern Continental Divide area. You can see the Eastern Continental Divide right here, running from Georgia all the way north into Canada. This is the Continental Divide area. This is where that earthquake is. Okay? It appears to be in the mountainous area here in Kentucky, nowhere near any population centers. It looks possibly like there may be, well, there's a quarry there. I don't believe that had anything to do with the quarry. It's way further south from the quarry, but there may be some tiny pockets here where there might be somebody living. This is in a heavily forested area. Looks like there's something that was going on here at one time. Down here to the south, there is a population center here. This is only a 2.7. Probably nobody felt this earthquake here in Kentucky. But like I said, it's only about 120 miles west of Morganton, North Carolina, where I live. Okay? We have earthquakes in Oklahoma. Prague, Oklahoma here. Dibble, Oklahoma. 1.8, 2.0 tremors here. Southwestern Texas right here. 2.0 earthquake in Mentone, Texas. Tremors and microquakes and minor earthquakes all over southwestern Texas. Right there. There's a small swarm. I will go back to California in a few minutes. Over here in Colombia, northern South America, this is a 5.2 earthquake. This earthquake happened at 01:34 a.m. Eastern Time this morning. 5.2 large earthquake. This is a 4.4. Santa Giovanna de Gordo, Colombia. Now I'm going to increase the size of this, enlarge it. It was out in the ocean just off the coast of Colombia. I don't think anybody may have felt it. The population centers are further away from the coastline here. I don't think anybody felt it. Look at all these clouds here. Look at all these clouds. Looks like there's a river flowing out to the Pacific Ocean here. There's no population here. This is just an alluvial plain where the river is carrying sediment out to the ocean. Nobody's there. But a 5.2 earthquake hit here near Mosquera, Colombia. Nobody felt it. No, the ocean waters here absorbed the shock waves of that quake. Further south, this is southern Peru. Southern Peru here. This is a 4.5 earthquake, 233 kilometers deep. This is a fairly shallow quake. We've had deep earthquakes all over here and also down in the South Pacific. This is a fairly shallow quake, only 233 kilometers deep. Further south here, this is the border area of Chile and Argentina. This is west of San Antonio de los Cobres, Argentina. A 4.4 earthquake, again 177.8 kilometers deep. Still a fairly shallow quake. I'm going to go now into the South Pacific over here to Tonga. We have had a large earthquake here today in Tonga. This is a 5.0 earthquake near Hihi, Tonga. This was 244 kilometers east of Hihi, Tonga. Nobody felt this earthquake. The Pacific Ocean waters absorbed the shockwave of this earthquake. Further south to the west, in Fiji, this is a 4.4 earthquake here. This was a fairly deep earthquake, 560 kilometers deep. We have had deeper earthquakes here. But this being a 4.4 earthquake here, guess what? That means this earthquake is going to propagate a much larger earthquake. It's going to propagate probably a 5.0, 5.1 earthquake to the north, to the south, or to the east, or even to the west. It could propagate an earthquake over here to Vanuatu, or the Solomon Islands, or to Papua New Guinea. Or that large earthquake could go down here to New Zealand. USGS is not showing all the earthquakes here. Down here in the Kermadec Islands, this is another 4.4 earthquake, 112 kilometers south of the Kermadec Islands. The Kermadec Islands are not occupied by anything but birds. It's a bird sanctuary. But a 4.4 moderate earthquake here. Going over here to Papua New Guinea. You can see 3 earthquakes here. This is a 4.5, 68 kilometers deep, a moderate earthquake. This is near Lae, Lae, Papua New Guinea. This is a 4.3 near Kimbe, Papua New Guinea. 46 kilometers west of Papua New Guinea. Folks, this is an area that gets hammered by earthquakes. We've seen 6.5s and 7.5 earthquakes here near Kimbe, Papua New Guinea. This is a 4.3 moderate earthquake here. 225 kilometers deep. North of here, this is a 4.7 earthquake. This is out in the ocean, guys. Out in the ocean. A 4.7 moderate earthquake here. This is out in the ocean and nobody felt it. Nobody felt it. I'm going to move over here to central Indonesia. Folks, this is a 5.4 earthquake here near Gorontalo, Indonesia. This is 137 kilometers deep. Folks, let me enlarge this map so you can see where it's at. This is right off the coast of one of these islands here. I don't know exactly. I think this is near Sulawesi, Indonesia, if I'm not mistaken. It's just barely off the coast. Let's zoom in here to see if anybody is even living near this area. Okay? It looks like there's a small population base over here to the northeast. There's a major river here. Some people living here near the river. They may have felt some part of this earthquake. This was 80 kilometers from the nearest land-based population center. For the most part, I think the shock waves of the earthquake were absorbed by the ocean waters here, down here in Indonesia. Okay? These earthquakes, because this area, folks, is the largest subduction zone in the world. 7 different plates are subducting. One plate, tectonic plate under the other. This is an earthquake in Tabua, Philippines, south of the Philippines. This big island here is Mindanao, Philippines. This is south of Mindanao, Philippines, a 4.4 earthquake. Nobody felt this earthquake. It's a moderate quake out in the middle of the ocean. Nobody felt this quake, but folks, this is a deep quake. This is 589 kilometers deep. This quake here, this 4.4, will propagate a much larger, shallower quake here. It will propagate probably a 5.3, 5.4 earthquake sometime within the next 3 to 10 days. Sometime within the next 3 to 10 days. This earthquake could hit Mindanao, Philippines here. It could go down here into Indonesia, or it could go westbound here into Indonesia as well. It's going to go somewhere here in Indonesia though. I don't think this earthquake will spread any further to the east from Indonesia. But this was a deep quake here in Indonesia. We usually don't see deep quakes over here. Now again, USGS is not showing us everything hitting here. There's about 25 earthquakes here in Indonesia. USGS is only showing us 2, one south of the Philippines, this other in Gorontalo, Indonesia, and another one northwest of Sumatra here. This is a 4.6 moderate quake, 25 kilometers deep. This is offshore from Sinabung, Indonesia. Sinabung, Sumatra, Indonesia. Sinabung is a volcano over here. Sinabung is a volcano right here. Okay? This is off the coast of Sinabung, Indonesia here. Let's go over to Taiwan. Today, an earthquake hit off the coast of Taiwan here. This is a 5.1 earthquake. This is a 5.1 earthquake. It hit 27 kilometers southeast of Hualien City, Taiwan. There are some population people or populated area here, and then the Hualien City is way up here. Okay, but this is off in the ocean. For the most part, the ocean waters here, the Pacific, absorbed the shock waves of this earthquake. This is 27 kilometers offshore from Taiwan. There has been another earthquake here, an aftershock. This is a 4.4 here. This is also 41 kilometers west-southwest of Yonaguni, Japan. Why are they saying it's Japan? Because Japanese apparently own these tiny islands just east and also north of Taiwan. Okay? It's closer to Hualien City, Taiwan. It's an aftershock of the Taiwan quake. Okay? Just for kicks and giggles, I want to show you that. USGS is also not showing any earthquakes here in Japan, but there are earthquakes here. They're showing one earthquake over here in the Mariana region, the northern Mariana Island region. This is a 4.8 earthquake here. This is 215 kilometers deep. 215 kilometers deep, not a deep earthquake. Not a deep earthquake. I want to go over to Hawaii now. I want to show you what's going on here in Hawaii. Okay, this is the big island of Hawaii. Now, there has been one earthquake west of Mauna Loa. This is a 2.0 earthquake just west of Mauna Loa here. Mauna Loa volcano is right here. This is just west of Mauna Loa, a 2.0 earthquake here. To the east here, this is Pahala. This is a 3.4 small earthquake near Pahala. Okay? 3.4 small earthquake. This is north of Pahala City. Okay? This is probably, we should probably say, it's in the foothills of Mauna Loa volcano. Pahala is down here. The town of Pahala is here. If our friend Laura Marie comes over here tonight, I don't think she'll probably be here. I think she's probably in Hawaii. If she comes here at all, she'll be coming here from Hawaii. Her grandson is graduating from high school from Pahala High. Okay? Let's see if we can find Pahala High School here. I think it's right here. This is the closest we can get to it. This is Pahala High School right here. Laura Marie's grandson is graduating from high school. So she's probably down here celebrating with he and his family, her children. We also have some earthquakes south of Pahala here. This is a 2.2, 32 kilometers deep. This is a 2.4 here. North of here, along the shoreline of Pahala, is a 1.7. Now, you might ask, why are we getting earthquakes here? Because, folks, I'm going to take you way down south here. Way down south and east of Tonga. Way down south here in the Pacific Ocean, there is a magma plume running from the center of the earth. The magma plume is pumping magma all over the world to all the volcanoes. What happens here in Hawaii, along the Big Island? The Big Island here, the magma comes here to Pahala. Okay? Pahala is like a gas station here. It funnels all the magma to all the volcanoes. Over here to Kilauea. Over here to Mauna Loa. It funnels magma up here to Mauna Kea here. And over here to Hualalai Volcano. All the magma coming to the Big Island comes here to Pahala. I believe that's why we have these earthquakes here. We probably don't have a lot of magma here right now, but there's enough to cause some earthquakes here. Again, the largest earthquake here in Pahala is a 3.4 earthquake. A 3.4 small earthquake over there in Pahala, north of Pahala City. That's what's happened here in Hawaii. Let's go over here to Tajikistan and Afghanistan. Over here in Tajikistan, this is a 4.3 earthquake here. Vivian is asking, is this now? Yes, it is. This is now. A 4.3 earthquake hit her here earlier this afternoon at 1500, basically 1500 hours this afternoon, which is 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Also this earthquake here, another 4.6 moderate quake here. This is in Afghanistan. This is in Ashkashan, Afghanistan. Ashkasham, Afghanistan. Ashkasham, Afghanistan. This is 226 kilometers deep. Okay? Over here. What's here? This is a Syria-Turkey border region here. USGS is not showing any earthquakes here at all. Guess what? There are 60 earthquakes here in this area, and USGS is not showing any of them. Why are there 6 earthquakes here? Because here, guys, over a year ago, about a year and 4 months ago, we had a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake happen here. Now, a year and more later, we're still having aftershocks. This area is going to have aftershocks from the 9.0, 10.0 earthquake that happened here over a year ago. Earthquakes all over this area. Earthquakes all over Turkey here. USGS is not showing any of them. There are about 20 earthquakes right here along the western coast of Turkey. They're not showing any of those either. Why not? Over here, this is Greece. There's about 28 earthquakes here in Greece, and nobody's talking about them except us and the European agency. The European agency is showing them, but the USGS not showing one of them. Why not? Why not? Inquiring minds want to know. USGS is not showing any earthquakes over here in Sicily and in the toe of Italy here. You might wonder why I'm calling it the toe of Italy. Italy is referred to as a boot, with the foot of the boot right here, the heel of the boot right here. Earthquakes here, right here in southern Italy, about 28 earthquakes right here, and a small cache of earthquakes right here. They are showing one earthquake here. This is Colicchio, Chile, or Colicchio, Italy. Colicchio, Italy. This is a 3.0 earthquake. But why are they not showing earthquakes over here to the west, over here in the resort area of Italy? Why not? Earthquakes over here to the east here. Why are they not showing those? Inquiring minds want to know. Over here in the Alps, of Switzerland and France, we have a bunch of earthquakes here. They're not showing those. They're not showing any of the 2s and 3s here in France. Not one of them. There are 2 earthquakes here in the border region of France and Spain. Spain. They're not showing those either. They're just 2.0, 2.1 earthquakes. That's typical for that area. They're not showing any earthquakes here in Spain. Why not? There are some minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.2 earthquakes down here in southern Spain. There are a couple earthquakes right here. This is the eastern side of the Strait of Gibraltar. Strait of Gibraltar is right here. This is a typical area for earthquakes right here. Typical. They're not showing those earthquakes here. They're not showing any earthquakes over here in the eastern Azores either. Not one. Why not? Okay, why not? They're also not showing any earthquakes here in the Canary Islands. There are some tremors here. There are some tremors. Let's go north. They're not showing any earthquakes here in England. There aren't any that I know of. There are some tremors over here in Norway and Sweden. They're not showing those. They're not showing any earthquakes at all in Iceland, which is a fallacy. There are some tremors and minor earthquakes here in Iceland, mostly because of the mid-Atlantic fault here going through Iceland here. It is expanding Iceland. At some point in time, I fully expect within possibly my kid's lifetime of Iceland expanding out and be broken into 2 different continents. 2 different islands here. Because the mid-Atlantic fault is spreading. It is expanding. With that expansion, we're also getting volcanoes here. Volcanic eruptions. The mid-Atlantic fault goes over here through the Reykjanes Peninsula here. It goes right through the middle of the Reykjanes Peninsula here. Okay? Goes right through the middle of the Reykjanes Peninsula all the way up here. Now, they're getting some minor tremors right down in this area here. This is Greenavik. We are seeing some tremors up here. This is where we last had a fissure opened up that came down to 3 craters that were still spewing, or shall I say fountaining lava. The last one closed up about 2 weeks ago, but we're still seeing some earthquakes caused by magma beneath the surface. Now, there's something else that you might need to know. It's not the only thing going on here. Now, there is a place called the Svartsengi Power Plant. The Svartsengi Power Plant. What is going on with the Svartsengi Power Plant? Right over here is the Svartsengi Power Plant and the Blue Lagoon Spa. The Blue Lagoon has been opened. It's opened back up. The Svartsengi Power Plant has also stayed open. They don't have any off-gassing problems right now. All the lava that was outgassing is over here to the north. And it's not outgassing very much. Outgassing means the magma is down beneath the earth, down in the lava field where the lava came out of the volcano. And because of that, there is still hot lava underneath the lava field. And that hot lava is still outgassing sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide fumes. But right now it's not a big, huge problem because it's only minor outgassing. But what is going on here at the Svartsengi power plant and the Blue Lagoon spot? There are GPS sensors at the Blue Lagoon and the Svartsengi power plant. They're showing increased uplift of the volcano. Down beneath the Svartsengi power plant, folks, we have a magma reservoir, and it's rising or making the land above it rise up. Okay, there is significant uplift here near the Svartsengi power plant and the Blue Lagoon spot. Okay, it's still ongoing. Is there possibly something that could happen? Yes. Yes, it could be. If this volcano erupts over here at the Blue Lagoon spot, there could be real problems. There could be real problems, guys. Okay? If that power plant were to erupt, a volcanic eruption, they would have to evacuate this Blue Lagoon spot immediately, if not sooner. The ground is splitting here. It can't help but split. There are some tiny fissures that have opened up here because of the uprise or uplift in the ground here above the magma chamber. So far, there has been no lava reaching the surface, but they're watching it. They're watching it very closely. Okay? That's the latest with Iceland. Now we have some other earthquakes I want to talk about tonight. First off, I'm going to make a stop here in Puerto Rico. Right here, it looks like a race car, doesn't it? This is Puerto Rico. Southwestern Puerto Rico, we're still getting earthquakes here. USGS is only showing one of them. This is a 2.4 earthquake here, just south of Porguera, Puerto Rico. This is where we had an 8.0 and an 8.4 earthquake in 2019. December 26th and December 28th, 2019, we had a man-made 8.0 and a man-made 8.4 here. Okay? We're still getting aftershocks from those man-made earthquakes. Major earthquakes. 8.0 and an 8.4 were major earthquakes, and they still are. It's been 5 years and we're still having aftershocks there. Over here to the east, this is a 2.2 earthquake here. This is south of Huaca, Puerto Rico, a 2.2 earthquake here. East of there, just offshore from Puerto Rico, from Arroyo, Puerto Rico, we have another 2.4 earthquake. Let's zoom out here. These are different. These earthquakes here have nothing to do with Puerto Rico other than being northeast of Puerto Rico. This is a 3.4 earthquake southwest of Charlotte Amalie. Actually, not southwest, northwest of Charlotte Amalie, U.S. Virgin Islands. 3.4 earthquake here, and right here, it's 3.8. These are earthquakes around the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Where do these earthquakes come from? Right here. This is called the Cayman Ridge. This is one of the deepest earthquake faults in the world. This is over here in the Caribbean, or the Caribbean. This earthquake fault originates over here in Guatemala, right here. The Cayman Ridge here. It originates over here in Guatemala. It goes eastbound from here out into the Caribbean. Then it makes another northern turn here. Then it makes another eastbound turn south of the Cayman Ridge, the Cayman Islands here. These are the Cayman Islands here. It continues eastbound here, north of Jamaica. And then it skirts the southern part of Cuba here. It goes north of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. It continues its eastbound turn here, north of Puerto Rico and north of the U.S. British Virgin Islands. Then it makes an abrupt southern turn here, past the outlying islands here. Okay? Antigua, Barbados, all these outlying islands here. The Cayman Ridge then goes south until it comes down here towards Venezuela. Then it makes a sudden westbound turn here and goes into northern Venezuela. The Cayman Ridge, guys. It's the craziest earthquake fault. And these earthquakes here near the U.S. and British Virgin Islands came from over here in South America near Guatemala. Okay? The USGS is not showing any of the earthquakes here. There are earthquakes, plenty of earthquakes here in Central America. There are about 40 earthquakes here in southern Mexico. They're not showing those earthquakes either. But folks, there are earthquakes here in Southern California. Seismic energy is still pushing from southern Mexico all the way up here. Let's go north, just south of the border here. I want to show you this. Yes, we have some earthquakes here. This earthquake is near the border of U.S. and Mexico. This is 16 kilometers east-southeast of Ocotillo, California. This is a 1.3 tremor. Over here, at the border region here in San Diego, Chula Vista, California. This is 7 kilometers east-southeast Chula Vista. This is a 1.4 tremor. Right here, just north of there, this is Rancho San Diego. This is near Ramona, California. It's a retirement community of San Diego County. Rancho San Diego right here. When I was a boy, we used to go hiking through here, and there were only homes just barely being built. Now it's a huge community here in Rancho San Diego. Today they had a 1.4 tremor here. You can see how the town has expanded here. This is the town of Ramona. This is Rancho San Diego here. It's in the foothills of the Chocolate Mountains. You can see the Chocolate Mountains here. Okay? There doesn't appear to be hardly anything going on here in Julian or this area here. Nothing. That is a fallacy as well. That is a huge fallacy. Over here, this is in the desert area just east of the Chocolate Mountains. This is Ocotillo Wells. This is a 0.8 microquake. Look where it's at. Right smack dab on the San Jacinto Fault. Right smack dab on the San Jacinto Fault. This earthquake here in the Imperial Valley, this is near Brawley. They're saying this is a 1.7 tremor in Brawley. In just a few minutes, I'm going to show you a lot more earthquakes here in Brawley area. I'm going to show you earthquakes here in Imperial here, the town of Imperial. I'm also going to show you earthquakes here in El Centro. I'm going to show you earthquakes over here in Holtville. I'm going to show you earthquakes here in Westmoreland. I'm going to show you earthquakes over here in Calipatria. I'm going to show you earthquakes up here at Bombay Beach. And USGS is not saying a word about these earthquakes. Not one word about them. There are plenty of earthquakes here. This earthquake here is just west-southwest of the Salton City. Salton City is an abandoned town, basically. It's a ghost town here on the west side of the Salton Sea. Salton City, a 1.1 tremor here. Over here off the northeast side of the Salton Sea, this is called North Shore Salton Sea. I'm going to show you a seismogram here. I think you'll be surprised about what's actually going on. because USGS is, again, not saying a word about it. They don't want anybody to know. Over here, this is Borrego Springs. Borrego Springs. These are tremors here. These are tremors here in Borrego Springs. This is a 1.1. That's a 0.7 microquake. And this is a 1.0 tremor here as well. Borrego Springs. Borrego Springs and the Anza-Borrego Desert State Park are synonymous. This whole area here is in northeast San Diego County, the Anza-Borrego Desert State Park. We do have some earthquakes here on the outskirts of it. This is a 0.9 microquake 1.0 tremor, and this is a 1.6 tremor here. Again, in the Anza-Borrego Desert State Park. North of there, these are tremors up here. They're also considered to be part of the Anza-Borrego Desert State Park. This is a 0.6. This is a 1.5. Tremors. Tremors. But you need to remember what's actually going on down in the Imperial Valley. You'll get the entire picture in just a minute. Further to the northwest, this is Warner Springs, North San Diego County here. Warner Springs with a 0.5 microquake here. To the west, this is Palomar Mountain. Palomar Mountain. There is a world famous telescope here. This is 7,100 feet high. This is a 0.8 microquake at Palomar Mountain. Folks, this is on the Elsinore Fault. This is the Elsinore Fault you see here. Palomar Mountain is just above the Elsinore Fault here. We also have some earthquakes north of Elsinore, north of Palomar Mountain here. This is a 1.0 tremor. This is a 0.8 tremor as well. Okay? Still a lot going on here, isn't there? Folks, they're not showing everything. There are earthquakes all throughout this area, and I'm going to show them here to you in just a minute. We started having earthquakes over here in the Imperial Valley last Thursday, almost a week ago. Guess what? This whole area here is called the silent zone. We're now having earthquakes here still. Okay? They're not showing this, are they? I'm going to show you earthquakes all over this area. Right here, Home Gardens. Home Gardens, just east of Los Angeles. 1.6 tremor here. Right here, this is North Tustin, California. 1.4 tremor here. Right here, this is Dana Point, south of LA. This is a 1.0 tremor here. Well, guess what? We also have some 2.0 activity here. Quite a bit. And I'm going to show you all this activity in just a minute. Get ready, guys. I think you're going to be surprised by what's going on. Right here, this is the San Andreas Fault. It comes out of Northern California, goes all the way through California here, goes all the way down here, east of east of the Salton Sea here, and it goes right down here, right straight down the middle of the Imperial Valley, into Mexico here, and right through the Gulf of California down here. The San Andreas Fault. Up here. Folks, right here is the area of the capital of earthquakes around the world. This is Parkville, California, earthquake capital of the world. This is a 2.1 earthquake here. This is a 2.1 earthquake here. Okay? Earthquake capital of the world. This is north of Parkfield here. A 1.2 tremor here. So we've had a minor earthquake here, Parkfield, up here to the north, a 1.2 tremor. Earthquake capital of California on the San Andreas Fault. You can see the San Andreas Fault here. Okay? More earthquakes here. Right straight up the San Andreas Fault. This is what they call the pinnacles. This is not just on the San Andreas Fault, but this is oil and gas pumping operation here in California. A 1.7 tremor here. Further up here, this is a separate and distinct earthquake fault from the San Andreas. Folks, this is different. This is a lot different. Okay? This is the Hayward Fault. A 1.2 tremor here in Gilroy, California. The San Andreas Fault here, I don't know the name of this fault right on the other to the east of the San Andreas here, but the Hayward Fault is right here. One of the most dangerous fault zones in California. The other here is the Calaveras Fault here. Folks, this is not a good area. Not a good area. 3 major fault zones here in California coming together right here. Literally coming together right here. Okay? San Francisco Bay Area, they're not showing anything at all here. That is also fallacy. There are earthquakes here. Okay? One more place to show you, and then we'll go back to Southern California. All the way up here. Folks, what I'm going to show you now is what they call the geyser area. This is a geothermal area here where men have drilled into the upper magma chambers of this volcano here. This is called the Clear Lake volcano. The geysers here typically gets 20 to 30 earthquakes every day. Every single day. Why? Because men have drilled into that volcano, up into the upper magma chambers of that volcano, and as a result, all of those drill points are human-made earthquake faults. Man-made earthquake faults. When the seismic energy finds one of those man-made earthquake faults, it fractures the rock inside the fault, causing earth movement, which is called earthquake. Called an earthquake. Right here, for example. This is a 0.8 microquake. Well, guess what? Guess what? It's also right next to one of the buildings here, or facilities, that helps pump the hot steam from the volcano over to a turbine facility. There are 80 turbines throughout this facility, throughout the mountains here. I'm going to try to locate one of the turbine facilities here to show you. It shouldn't be too hard here to find one of the turbines here. One of the drill points here is right here. Okay, now I can't get any closer to this drill point than this, but right here is a drill point where man has drilled into the upper magma chambers of the volcano, and we have an earthquake right here. This is a 0.7 tremor here. Down here. This is also a 1.1 tremor here. Okay? Now, right over here, right here, we have a bank of turbines here. All of that hot steam coming from the volcano comes down to these turbines. Not just these, but the entire facility here with all the turbines. It comes to the turbines and it powers the turbines to generate electricity. For Pacific Gas and Electric, Rocky Mountain Power of Utah, and 2 other energy conglomerates in California. That's how they get electricity. This is Sonoma County, California. Sonoma County, California. Okay? There are a bunch of turbines in this area. 80 different turbines here. I'm just trying, oh, right here, just above these buildings here, over here across the roadway, Here is another pump area here where they pull steam out of the volcano right here. Okay? It happens all over the place, guys. Literally everywhere. Right here, in the center of your screen here. Right there where you see my cursor is another pumping area here where they're pulling steam out of the chamber here. They drilled in the upper magma chamber of that volcano. They pulled the steam here, and it's pumped from you can't see it right here from this picture, but I have shown it to you in the past. They have piping running from these drill points to these turbine facilities to generate electricity. That's what's going on here throughout this entire area here. Okay, all along these roadways they have pumps here, or they have these piping here. All along all of these roadways they have these pipes going along the roadways everywhere. Okay, that's what's going on here. Earthquakes all over Sonoma County because they pump steam from this volcano here, and it generates the steam over here to the turbine facility to generate electricity for California. Okay, that's what's going on there. Now, I may stop one more time here. I want to show you this. Folks, this is Mammoth Mountain. It's been a couple weeks since we showed you the earthquakes at Mammoth. This is a 1.9 tremor here, 1.9, 2.0 earthquake here, right there. It just happened. This is a 1.7 tremor there at Mammoth Mountain. Here's a 1.6 tremor here at Mammoth Mountain. This is a 1.8 tremor at Mammoth Mountain. And folks, this is a 2.6 earthquake at Mammoth Mountain. Very, very active volcano. Very, very active volcano. Out here to the east, there's even another volcano here. This is a super volcano. Folks, this is a big deal. This is called Long Valley Volcano. Long Valley Volcano. Now, while we're not seeing any earthquakes here, they are having earthquakes here. Most of these are 2.5 to 3.5 earthquakes. 2.5 minor earthquakes, 3.5 small earthquakes here at Long Valley. They're not telling us the full story. Heaven forbid the USGS would tell us the full truth. Not going to happen. Now, with that said, I want to go back down here to Southern California. I want to show you what's actually going on, because they're not going to tell you. They are not going to tell us at all. Heaven forbid they tell us the truth of what's happening in Southern California. Now, before I go and show you Los Angeles, I want to show you what's going on down in the Imperial Valley. Let's go over to the east side of Salton Sea. This is a seismogram from Bombay Beach. This is where the San Andreas Fault starts to go south underneath the Salton Sea. These earthquakes are at that location. Each one of these earthquakes, or most of these earthquakes, I should say, are at least 3.0 earthquakes. Right here, this is just over a 3.0 earthquake, probably a 3.3 earthquake. But they cut the top of it off and they cut the bottom of it off. I tend to believe that this earthquake was a lot stronger than that. This earthquake lasted 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3, and then 3.5. A total of 3.5 minutes long. The shaking. 3.5 minutes of shaking activity. That's huge. If this had been a 5.0, 6.0 earthquake, it would have seemed like an eternity of shaking. But folks, this is probably 3.5 to 4.0 moderate earthquake. 3.5 small, 4.0 moderate earthquake here. 3 minutes worth of shaking. Then the secondary wave lasted a lot longer than that. The secondary wave came all the way over here. That was a long shaking going on. This was at least a 4.0 earthquake here. We can see more seismic energy here, where the top of this seismic activity here was cut off. The bottom was cut off. Folks, this is a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here. Again, lasting 1, 2, 3 minutes. After that, over here, the seismic activity started here as tremors. It gets over here to 7:15. At 7:15, all heck broke loose. These are at least 3.4, 3.5 earthquakes here. It looks like they cut the bottom and the top of this off. This earthquake lasted 2.5 minutes here. Then out to the right here, we have a secondary wave here that lasted another 2 minutes. That was a pretty strong earthquake. Okay? Now, earthquake here. This is at 7:40 p.m. or 7:40 a.m. here. Again, this earthquake lasted 2.5 minutes long. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Again, cut off at the bottom and cut off at the top. This could have been a large 3.0, 3.5 earthquake. Okay? That's what's happening. And at 8:15, we have more earthquakes here. Why? Because over here, at approximately 8:12 a.m. here, we have the earthquake sequence start. These are all tremors here. Tremors getting to be large earthquakes. 2.0, 2.5 earthquakes here. Then it got heavy duty here. It got heavier duty here. Over here, look at this. Again, the top and the bottom of this earthquake sequence cut off. Just prior to that happening, this earthquake here happened at approximately 9:13 a.m. here. 9:13 a.m. here. It continued all the way over here at 9:15. 9:16. At just after 9:16, the earthquake starts waning, and we have a secondary wave here. A short secondary wave here. Down here we have another 3.0, 3.5 earthquake. This is a 3.0. Again, the top and the bottom have been cut off, which tells us this was at least a 3.5, maybe close to a 4.0 earthquake. Why? Folks, the earthquake started over here. Okay? A minute and a half. 2 minutes. 3 minutes. Nearly 4 minutes long. Nearly 4 minutes long. Not all of that time was at 3.0 or above. It came down right here in the middle of it, then it ramped up about a minute and a half later. Good sized, strong earthquakes here in Bombay Beach. More earthquakes just after 12 noon here. Just after 12:45 here. 46, 47, 48, 49, 12:50. 12:50 p.m. over here to 12:52. The same thing down here. This was a 3.0, then it became less, 2.8, 2.9 here. Same thing here. These appear to be 2.8, 2.9 earthquakes, maybe a 3.0 here. This is this afternoon after 4:30 this afternoon. Earthquakes here at Bombay Beach. Okay? Now, how about El Centro? Good old El Centro. Let me show you that. Now, Juanito, our dear friend, that has been a friend of the program and a friend of mine for quite some time. He lives here in El Centro. Look what's happening here still. Still. At least a 3.5, maybe even a 4.0 earthquake here. It got cut off at the top and the bottom. This is just after 5:17 a.m. this morning. And the secondary wave lasts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. The secondary wave. This is what tells me this earthquake was probably at least a 4.0 moderate earthquake at El Centro. Over here to the right, folks, this appears to be a 3.0 earthquake here. We typically get a lot of 3.0 earthquakes here in El Centro. This started, the 3.0 earthquakes here in El Centro started approximately a year and a half ago. We didn't get that many earthquakes like this here in El Centro before that. They started ramping up a lot. Yes, we get 3.0 earthquakes, but look what's happening here. See these wavy lines here? This is magma coming into the magma chamber towards the Salton Butte volcano. That's what's going on here. Magma going to the Salton Butte volcano. The wavy lines here are that. Okay, I want to make sure you understand that. Right here in this green line, the same thing happening here. Starts here, goes up, down, up and down, all the way over here. Okay? Doesn't matter whether it's a blue, green, or black line, or a red line. The black lines are the top of the hours. This is 5, 6, 7, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m. This is over on the left-hand side. 11 a.m., 12 noon, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., and 4 p.m. Okay? These are all good-sized 3.0, 3.4 earthquakes. They're happening. USGS is not showing them on the map. Why not, USGS? We want to know. We want to know. Now, given that, let's also go over to Westmoreland. Oh, darn it. Darn, darn, darn. I'm tempted to go over here and pull the Westmoreland seismogram. In fact, I'm going to right now. I need to show you the Westmoreland seismogram. Westmoreland is down on the southwestern side of the Salton Sea. But I want to show you what's actually going on. This is Westmoreland, guys. See this earthquake you first saw at El Centro? It's being pictured here as well. The seismograph at Westmoreland picked it up here. So we're seeing it here. But we're also seeing all of the tremors and minor earthquakes such as this. This is a 2.0 earthquake here. A 2.0 earthquake down here. All the rest of this activity, well, this might be a 2.0 earthquake here as well. But the rest of this activity is all tremors here at Westmoreland. Why are they not showing those to us? Why are they not showing those to us, guys? Inquiring minds want to know. This is Westmoreland, California, on the southwest side of the Salton Sea. And that's not all, folks. There's more. Over here on the southeastern side of the Salton Sea here is Calipatria. Calipatria. Now, I'm going to enlarge this here, and I'll pull down the seismograph so you can see this. The red lines that you're seeing all throughout this seismogram are generated by the computer. Usually you'll see light blue lines, and you're going to see dark blue lines. The dark blue here are every other 15-minute time period. The dark blue up here is after 2:30 this afternoon. So the lighter blue right here is 3:30 here. The seismogram is starting to pick up right here. But you can see these tremors and minor earthquakes here. Tremors like this. Minor earthquake here, 2.0. This is possibly close to a 2.0 quake here. 2.0 quake here. Look at the time element here. The width of this line here is the time element of that quake. Probably 10 seconds. 10 seconds. This is a 2.2, 2.3 earthquake here. Again, it lasted nearly 10 seconds. How about here? Right here. This earthquake happened at about 10:09, 10:10 last night. This is a 2.2, 2.3 earthquake. This earthquake happened here just after 9:45. I'm going to say probably close to 10:54 p.m. last night, right here. Or 9:54 p.m. right now, right here last night. About 10 seconds worth of shaking. You see the thicker line here? Thicker line here. You can't see a real thicker line here, but the start of that earthquake happened over here. Okay? This is midnight. Right here is midnight last night. This is yesterday. This is today. Look at the earthquakes here. There are over 50 earthquakes right here. 50 earthquakes and tremors right in this area here. You saw what happened here. There's another 30 earthquakes and tremors here. 80 earthquakes and tremors on this particular seismogram at Calipatria. At Calipatria. They're not showing on the USGS map. It's active as heck. This is active as heck. USGS wants us to believe that nothing's going on in the Imperial Valley. There is plenty going on. There is plenty of stuff going on. Let's look at the Salton Sea Desert Research Station in Holtville. Holtville seismograph is also showing the same earthquake here that happened over in Westmoreland today. Still showing that earthquake here. But look at the other minor earthquakes. This is a minor 2.0 here. There's other 2.0s throughout this seismograph. But this is also tremors here. Tremors at the Salton Sea Desert Research Station in Holtville. Holtville. This is the southeast part of the Imperial County. Okay? How about the town of Imperial? Look at this. I'm sorry, that's El Centro. How'd that happen? Right there. This is the town of Imperial. Look at this. Again, the seismograph from Imperial also picked up the earthquake from Westmoreland. Look at all these quakes and tremors here. Yes, we have bunches of tremors, but also right here, for example, this is 10:30 a.m. this morning. Look what's happening. This is at least a 3.0 earthquake. Doggone, why did that happen? This is Imperial here. Over here is a 3.0 earthquake. Here again, probably close to 3.0. But this earthquake here started over here. This earthquake over here on the left at 10:30 or 11:30 a.m. this morning started over here. Much earlier than that. This is 11:26 a.m. this morning. That earthquake lasted a long time, didn't it? We have seismic energy here, probably reaching up to at least 2.3, 2.5 earthquakes here. This whole seismic sequence here on this green line. Look down here. Right here we have an earthquake sequence that started at approximately 3:10, 3:11 this afternoon, and it lasted 2.5 minutes here. Right here in the beginning of it, 3.0 earthquake. We had tremors building up to 2.0, 2.5, going up here to 3.0, continuing all the way over here. 3.0 is continuing for a minute. Then the secondary quake or secondary wave starts in here. The secondary wave lasted another 2.5, 3 minutes. Folks, this earthquake here was probably a 3.5 earthquake. Okay? This is the town of Imperial. The town of Imperial. Seismic energy, guys, seismic energy is still happening down here in the Imperial Valley. USGS is only showing one earthquake here, just south of Brawley. 1.7 tremor. There are plenty of other earthquakes, as I've shown you, all over this area. Heaven forbid they would tell the truth. Now, why am I showing this to you? There's a reason. All this seismic energy is moving north. It's moving north into this area here. All over Los Angeles. Right now, as you see here in the LA area, it looks like a silent zone. It looks like a great big silent zone. Watch to see what I show you now. The seismic energy is going to change, and it's going to change in a big way. Now I'm going to go over here really quick. I want to show you something. I hope I find it here. Yes. Folks, let me enlarge this for you. I want you to see this so you can take full advantage of what I'm talking about. Okay? This is the Imperial Valley right here. Look what we're seeing here. Very little of anything. It's a silent zone. That's what we would call a silent zone, meaning this is the next place to get hit. This is the next place to get hit. Okay? The next place we're going to see earthquakes. And it's happening. It's happening, folks, and it's happening now. We're starting to see it happen right now. We started seeing some of it on Monday. We started seeing some of it on Monday. Let me show you Fontana. Look at this, guys. This is Fontana. Fontana is just as busy as it was on Monday. It's just as busy as it was on Monday. Right here. This earthquake happened just after 5:17 this morning. This is a 3.0 earthquake here in Fontana. This is a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake right here. You can see the seismic energy here. This is probably close to a 3.0 earthquake right here. This is at least a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake right here. You can see all over this place. This is probably close to a 3.0 earthquake here. It's moving. It's moving. Down here at the bottom here of the seismogram, you can see plenty of seismic energy here. This blue line here starts off here at 4:30 this afternoon. We go over 1 minute, 4:31 p.m. this afternoon. This appears to be a 2.9, 3.0 earthquake. The same thing here, just a minute and a half later. You can see what I'm talking about. These are okay, guys. Yes, I am. I accidentally hit mute. I'm sorry. Yes, I don't know how I did it, but I actually accidentally hit mute. Sorry about that. Right here, this is the 3.2, 3.3 earthquake. The same as here. This one after 7 o'clock, this one 7 o'clock this morning, and this one here after 3:15. Earthquakes hitting here. This is Long Beach. No problem, Becky. I know you were calling. That's all right. Anyway, I'm sorry I hit mute. I don't know what happened here. Yeah, YouTube playing games too, but that, yeah, it might have been YouTube too, but it's possible they've done it before. But anyway, folks, this is Long Beach. Long Beach, California. It's not over. It's not over, guys. I want to show you another one over there in the LA area. This is the Anaheim, California area, near Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm. State Street. Up here. This appears to be at least close to a 3.0 earthquake. Close to a 3.0 earthquake. And the same here. Okay? I believe we had a 3.0 earthquake right here. I believe we had another one right in here. And most assuredly, we had another one here. Yes, we're seeing 3.0 earthquakes all over the place. Even another one right here. We have a lot of minor earthquakes too. A lot of this seismogram is showing minor earthquakes. 2.0, 2.9 earthquakes. Down here at the bottom. This is after 4:45 on the bottom left-hand corner. Look at these tremors and minor earthquakes. This appears to be a 2.0, 2.2. This is a 2.0, 2.2. Another 2.0, 2.3, 2.3. You can see these earthquakes here. All over here. Folks, this is a very populated area. Some of these larger 3.0 plus earthquakes are being felt by the citizens of Long Beach and Anaheim area. They're feeling them. These earthquakes are getting larger and larger and larger. We did not see this before. The largest earthquakes we saw here before were nothing but 2.0 earthquakes. The largest. And those were just minor quakes. Now we're seeing 3.0s coming on board. Literally everywhere. Literally everywhere, guys. Someplace else over there, not someplace else, this is Walnut La Puente. This is a volcano over there east of Los Angeles. This is a suburb of Los Angeles, Walnut and La Puente in the caldera. This is a 3.0 earthquake lasting 2 minutes. This is at least a 3.0, 3.3 earthquake here. We see another earthquake sequence here and here. Look here. This is after 1 p.m., 1:15 p.m. here on this red line. The blue line. The blue line actually started over here just before 1:30. About 1:29 p.m. over here on the right-hand side. Then it kicks into gear and look what happens. Look what happens. All of a sudden, this becomes at least a 2.4, 2.5, maybe even 2.9 earthquakes. Look how long this sequence lasted, all the way over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. 6 minutes worth of shaking right here after 1:30 this afternoon. Again after 3:30 here. But the problem with that is the earthquake sequence started over here just after 3:27 p.m. over here. Actually 3:28 p.m. here. 3:29 over here to 3:30 over here on the left-hand side. So this seismic sequence lasted about 3 minutes. Lasted a total of 3 minutes. Right here after 4 p.m. here, about 4:02 p.m. here, we have a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here. We can't see the top of this red line because I believe the colors here are interfering with it. But you can see what I'm saying. All over Los Angeles. All over Los Angeles. Guys, what I believe now, what I believe is going on now in Los Angeles is just what we're going to see coming. Large earthquakes. I expect to see at least a 5.0 earthquake in the Los Angeles area within the next week. You saw what the USGS map showed. That was on Monday. A great big silent zone all over the LA area. I'm showing you the earthquakes now that are happening today. It's serious, guys. It is very serious. We need to pay attention. If you live in the LA area or the greater LA area, you need to be prepared. You need to be very prepared. Why? Because things are happening. Things are happening. And they're not going to get any better. You're not going to get any better. I believe we're due a large earthquake in the LA area. I've shown you all the relevant evidence to prove it. Okay? If you have family, if you have friends in the LA area, you need to put out the warning now. Okay? Let's put LA on an earthquake watch. Let's put the Los Angeles area on earthquake watch. It's a large area, spanning about 100 miles in any direction, north, south, and east. Expect a 5.0 earthquake to happen. USGS is not showing anything. They don't want anybody to know. They don't want anybody to know. I'm showing you the data. I'm showing you the data. They only want to show you what they want to show you. That's it. They're not going to protect anybody's life or property. They're not going to protect anybody's life or property. What about this? Over near the 405 and the 5, there is a great big huge oil and gas storage area. A great big huge oil and gas storage area with storage tanks right beside the freeway. What's going to happen when the earthquake hits? So far, Los Angeles has gotten very lucky. I was down there in 2014 after they had a 4.5. And glass had broken out of all kinds of windows, businesses and residential windows all over Los Angeles. And that was at 4.5. What we're seeing now is actually a little bit less. A little bit less. Folks, it's going on. And it's going to continue. It's going to continue. Is everybody prepared? Do you have a preparedness plan written? Do you have a written preparedness plan detailing what you're going to do and how you're going to do it? And where you're going to go if you're going to go anywhere? How are you going to handle it if your house comes down? In Northridge in 1994, there was a 6.9 earthquake, and it leveled apartment buildings. It leveled businesses. I was there after it happened. It could possibly happen again with at least a 5.0 earthquake. And I'm forecasting a 5.0 earthquake within the next 5 to 10 days in Los Angeles. It may happen sooner than that. Do you have a written emergency preparedness plan? If not, you better do it now. You better do it now. What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? And when are you going to do it? Detailing every day that you're there. What are you going to do? How are you going to survive, you and your family? Do you have first aid kit? Do you have a very good first aid kit? What happens if someone gets hurt? What happens if you or someone else gets hurt? How are you going to handle that? First responders probably won't be able to get to you right away because they're going to be handling more emergency cases. You need to take care of stuff yourself. You need to take care of things yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. Do you have water? Do you have food? You're not going to be able to survive much without water there. After 3 days, you're going to hurt. Your body's going to start shutting down if you don't have water. Food. You need to have at least 2,000 calories a day. 2,000 calories a day. Do you have a grill? Do you have a barbecue? Are you going to be able to cook when the power goes out? Yes, when we get these large earthquakes in the LA area, power goes out. Are you prepared? You need to do that. You need to happen. Make it happen. Folks, I'm being serious here. I couldn't be more serious. I've shown you the data. If it doesn't happen right soon, they will have gotten by. If it doesn't happen very soon, they will dodge a big one. But I do believe a large earthquake is due in the LA area. Are you prepared? I hope so. If you want information about preparedness, go back through our videos from last Friday back, and when you see the word preparedness in the title, go back to that video and look at it and see what we talk about. I believe one of the videos says emergency preparedness kits. Emergency kits. One at least is going to say emergency planning. You need to see it. We need to see it. We talked about it. We showed you information that you need to have to save your life and the life of your family members. Please share this program with everybody. This is one of the most serious programs we've had, and I'm dead serious about it. USGS wants to show nothing. Well, guess what? We just showed you a lot more than anything. Diane Cummins says there was an earthquake in New York yesterday. Probably. USGS only showed an earthquake in New Jersey. Jersey is still having aftershocks from that alleged 4.5 that they had a month ago. That 4.5 was actually a 5.9. That's why Jersey is still having earthquakes today. Aftershocks. A 5.9 earthquake, a very heavy-duty earthquake in New Jersey, caused damage, minor injuries. It was not the 4.5 that USGS said it was. USGS lies through their teeth. They couldn't tell the truth if they even wanted to. They could not tell the truth if they wanted to. Okay, we got sound still here. Patricia said lost sound. I've got sound here on my end. Okay, we got sound still here. Okay, I was concerned that we had no sound. Okay, folks, what I'm going to show you here is some earthquakes on the East Coast. I want to show you what we see today. What we see today. Because there's energy there. It's hitting over in the Northeast. It's hitting in the Northeast. Now, we had an earthquake, like I said, in Kentucky today, just about 120 miles northwest of where we are. It was a 2.74 earthquake in Kentucky. We talked about it. Okay? But, over in Ontario, Wikmekong, Wikmekong, Ontario, Canada, a 1.92 tremor. A 1.92 tremor over there in Ontario, Canada. Crazy, huh? Crazy. But we continue to see earthquakes in Canada and in the northeastern part of the United States. Why? Why are they getting it? Because the Mid-Atlantic Fault, guys, the Mid-Atlantic Fault here is pushing the United States in a southwesterly direction. It's pushing Africa and Europe in an easterly direction. That's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. Okay? I briefly talked about the Canary Islands. 3 minor earthquakes in the Canary Islands today. USGS doesn't show squat. Nothing. Not a darn thing. How about Portugal and Spain? Earthquakes there. They didn't show them, did they? Not a thing. Look at this. France. Not showing any of those earthquakes, are they? Nothing. Nothing. France, Switzerland, and Germany. This is Liechtenstein here, 1.2. They're not showing anything, are they? Poland. Here's a 2.6 in Poland. Not showing those. Skagerrak in Sweden. Actually, I'm sorry, it's not Sweden. Skagerrak in Norway. This is a 1.8 tremor in Norway. Over in Sweden, this is in Västmanland, Sweden. This is also 1.3 tremor here. They didn't show those, did they? Heaven forbid, no. Not a thing. Look here in Italy. As I said, they didn't show anything there. Look at all the earthquakes in Italy. Not showing squat. Look at the earthquakes over here in Greece. They're showing nothing. Earthquakes in Greece all over the place. Literally. Literally. Western Turkey, not a thing. Central, north, central Turkey here. Like you said, over here in the Turkey-Syria border region, we had about 50, 60 quakes here. Not showing anything. Why not, USGS? Why don't you do your darn job? Be the preeminent earthquake agency in the world. Stop being pansies. The United States Geological Survey is being pansies, guys. We can no longer tolerate it. We can no longer tolerate it. This is wrong. We're supposed to be the preeminent seismic agency, and we're playing fiddly-sticks. It's crap. That's all it is crap. Now, does anyone have any questions? I know we've answered a few questions here. Does anybody have any questions for me? Trisha Meyer says, is Yellowstone getting ready to blow? No, it's not. Trisha, Yellowstone is not anywhere near ready to go. And it's not going to go for a while. I promise you, putting my hand here in my Bible, I'm promising you right now, Yellowstone is not going to go for quite some time. I will tell you when Yellowstone is going to go. I will be showing you the earthquakes prior to it happening. It's not anywhere close to being ready to go. It's not going to go for probably 10 or 15, 20 years, maybe longer. How's the Philippines doing right now? Philippines have earthquakes. Most of those earthquakes are minor tremors and minor earthquakes. Nothing really big at all in the Philippines. But I do expect the Philippines to start getting hit again with 5.0 and 6.0 earthquakes in the Philippines. Now, folks, we just got through having a bunch of solar flares. Those solar flares cause earthquakes. Yes, we had a 6.0 earthquake yesterday. I fully expect more 6.0 and even 7.0 earthquakes coming very soon. I am very surprised that last week, when the solar flares were peaking, that we didn't have anything major in the way of earthquakes. By major, I'm talking 7.0 to 8.0 earthquakes. I did fully expect it. It did not happen. I think we dodged the bullet. Okay? I think we dodged a bullet, a big bullet. But they're coming. They're coming. When I got on the air, Mark Wages was also on the air with a members-only chat there. But I will tell you right now, if you have any idea what's going on in the sun, or you want more information about what's going on in the sun right now, go over to Mark Wages' program called Wages World here on YouTube. And you can find out all kinds of information. And before or when this program is over, within about 5 or 10 minutes after this program is over, I will have a link to his program on our program description right below this video today. Right below this video we have a program description, and I will have all information you need on how to contact me with our website, not our website, but our email address. I will also have our mailing address where you can send us cards and letters. I haven't got a card or letter here in at least 2 weeks. I'd love to see cards and letters again. You can also send us donations to PayPal and to our Cash App. We have 2 PayPal locations and a Cash App. You can send us donations there to help support us. You can also slip a check or cash inside a card or a letter and mail it to us. A lot of people do that. We love that. We need that money to help keep this program on the air, because YouTube and other agencies keep knocking us down. Folks, we've had now 59 people still watching this program. I thought we'd have a lot more. I'm going now to the final part of our program. At the end of every program, we try to give you something positive to think about, something more spiritual. Ken Staley says signs in the heavens. Yes, we're seeing signs in the heavens and on earth. Tonight's devotional here comes from 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 15 and 16. Now, let me go back to 13. No, let's go back to just 14 first. 14 says, "But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them." Knowing whom thou hast learned them. We learned them from Jesus Christ, didn't we? Timothy is getting talked to by his best friend, Paul. Paul considered Timothy his brother. In verse 15, "And that from a child thou hast known the Holy Scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith which is in Christ Jesus." Verse 16, "All Scripture is given by inspiration of God, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof and correction, for instruction in righteousness." All Scriptures. Brothers and sisters, it says in the Holy Bible that all Scripture was given to us from inspiration and for guidance to us. I suggest we start using the Scriptures. Use the Scriptures, for in the Scriptures you're going to find eternal life. And in the Scriptures it says, in the Scriptures you're going to find eternal life, which gift is the greatest of all gifts of God. Eternal life. Folks, you need to understand. You need to understand that the Lord loves you. The Lord cares for you. I believe I have been guided and directed by the Holy Spirit to be here. Before I came on the air over 5 years ago, I was praying for inspiration because someone else said they are no longer going to be on the air. I still feel, and I felt back then, that it was absolutely necessary that someone come out here and tell the truth of what's going on. That gentleman occasionally comes on the air, but he is not telling us anywhere near the truth. No one else is either. The USBS is not telling us the truth and hasn't told us the truth for a very, very long time. Folks, get the truth. We're here with the truth for you. The sun keeps popping up as well, which is causing those solar flares, the CMEs, the coronal mass ejections, and which is going to cause earthquakes here on this earth. Plus, the first week of June, we're going to have a massive planetary alignment. The planetary alignment, and I'll talk more on it tomorrow, but the planetary alignment is going to cause earthquakes. The planetary alignment generates electromagnetic radiation. When we have planetary alignments, it generates electromagnetic radiation. We're going to see more earthquakes then in the first week of June, first days of June. You need to be aware of it. I am here to talk about it. I'm here to answer any and all questions that you have. Folks, I'm here for you. I ask the Lord's blessings to be with you. I love you. Christ and our Heavenly Father love you. Please don't have any doubt about it. I have a testimony that Jesus Christ lives. He's our Redeemer. He's our King. He's our Savior. May God bless you. May God be with you this day and always. May God be with you until we meet again. We will see you tomorrow. Unless something else happens tonight, we'll be back on the air tonight. If something else happens as soon as we get the information. Otherwise, we'll see you sometime after 6 p.m. yesterday evening. God bless you. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you all. We appreciate so much. We'll talk to you soon. Good night, everyone. Much love.